Hello friends, today I want to discuss the topic merchant export and deemed export. So what is the difference between merchant export and deemed export? People used to get confused between these two transactions. So what is the merchant export? A merchant export is a transaction where the supplier supplies goods to the merchant exporter who ultimately supplies goods outside India, which is an export transaction. In case of merchant export transaction, the GST rate will be applicable a concessional GST rate, that is 0.1%, and subject to certain conditions which are specified on your screen you can see above. If the condition specified in the notification is not fulfilled, the concessional GST rate will not be applicable and the supplier has to pay GST at the normal rate with applicable interest. So in case of merchant export, the refund is also a possible, where the supplier can apply for the refund under inverted duty structure, and in case of the merchant exporter has to supply the goods under the letter of undertaking or bond. The merchant exporter is not permissible to sell the goods under the with payment of IGST. Hence, merchant exporter has to apply refund for the unutilized ITC. Now we come to the next part, that is deemed export. Deemed exports are the supply of goods which are notified as a deemed export, wherein the supply does not leave India, payment received in Indian currency. Deemed exports are notified such as supply to advance authorization holder, EPCG holders, supply to export oriented unit, which are considered as a deemed export. In case of deemed export, the supply is made at normal GST rate, and subsequently either the supplier can claim a refund subject to the recipient has not claimed the credit, or the recipient of supply can claim the credit subject to conditions which are specified as per the provision of law. So summarizing this, there are two major differences in the transaction of merchant export and deemed export. Merchant export is export which ultimately supplies the good outside India. In case of deemed export, the goods does not leave India. The second one is, in case of merchant export, the GST rate will be applicable as 0.1%. In case of deemed export, the normal GST rate will be applicable. In both the cases, the refund will be applicable for the merchant export and deemed export. Hope you will find this video helpful. Thank you.